In order to keep bringing you guys tons of free content, we work with brand partners who you'll hear from in this episode, including an advertisement from Zopa Bank. Welcome back to another episode of the Talk Twenties podcast. Today, we've got YouTuber Kate Elisabeth in the studio with us to talk all about life, love life, business, and so much more. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button so you never miss an episode of us in the studio. Hello, Kate. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me on.
We met only a few weeks ago at a YouTube event. You were speaking on a panel. Tell us a little bit more about you. For people who might be tuning in who don't know who Kate Elisabeth is, tell us a little bit more about you.
I'm a lifestyle YouTuber or like content creator. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all the platforms pretty much. I pretty much just vlog my life. I feel like it's quite like a broad term though, isn't it? To be like, oh yeah, like people just follow me. But like, I guess like my life's kind of, I guess, exciting, or I try to make it exciting. Like I travel a lot, have a small business, and I just kind of like to really like show everyone like the realness of like life, like especially, well, as a 20-year-old, well, not 20-year-old, but in my 20s, because obviously Talk 20s, come on.
Absolutely. So we met at YouTube, and we're going to talk a little bit more about all those different things you mentioned just then, but we have a bit of a tradition on the podcast that we always kickstart the podcast with, where we ask you to show us a photo from this time last year, a bit of a behind the scenes BTS of your life, and a bit of a backstory about this photo and what was going on. Set the scene for us, what was going on this time last year for you.
Okay, let's get the pic.
Is it a juicy one?
She looks moody. No, she just looks moody. Yeah, bless her. This. Where am I showing it?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Don't just give it to you.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. Well, you look cute though.
No, she's so moody. She just came back from Bali. She's such a traveling babe.
But she's moody. Why is she moody? She come back from Bali.
Basically, the backstory behind that is that I was packing every single one of my bikinis like manually. So basically, I got given my bikinis like, not raw, like what was it, like without any packaging. So they were literally like just in boxes, like on top of each other. And
so for context, you've got a bikini company.
Yeah, I've got.
And that was why you're speaking at YouTube, and that is what you're packing into boxes in this situation. Okay.
So I got sent like I think like 6 boxes of all the bikinis. They were all like layered on top of each other. Had no packaging on them, no barcodes, no tags as well. So she's moody because she packaged all 600 of her bikinis by herself. Yeah, within 2 days as well, by the way, because I had to get it out quickly because of summer, because obviously now it's May. It's a peak time to release bikinis, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she was moody. She had backache, bless her.
Oh, bless you. That sounds like a difficult thing to have to do.
Small business things.
Absolutely. Small business life. Before we get started, we just have to say a huge thank you to Shure, who have sent us their brand new MV7 Plus mics, which we've got in front of us here that we're using today. Brand new, only the second time we've ever used them in the studio. Thank you, Shure, for sending them to us. They're really cool. You can actually, we haven't figured out how to do it yet, but you can actually get like this bit in the front to like light up and like go like rainbow colors, which is really, really cool. But these are really cool. And thank you so much to Shure for sending them across to us.
Cool.
Tell us a little bit more about you getting into YouTube then. So I would describe you as like one of like the OGs. You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Hot minute, to be fair. It's been like 6 years, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And this was before like Instagram, before TikTok, before like short form was even like a thing. So like I was like an only long form girl. So I think like transitioning from that into like short form has been so difficult, because I've been like, oh my God, like where's the effort? Like I feel like I need to be making like 20 to 15 minute like videos. Yeah. And like now like making like a 15-second video, I'm like, there's not enough in this video. Like I can't believe people are even watching it. Yeah, I started in 2018, like properly actually started in 2016. Then for a year and a half was like hustling, posting it all week, because like that's when the YouTuber days were like, it was like you need to post every week so you can get like consistency and then followers. And then I think 2018 I literally uploaded a video off the whim, off the bat, didn't even want to upload it because basically I hated vlogging. Like I'm very like introverted, I'd say. Like I'm a trained extrovert. That's how I like to call it.
Okay, I love that. A trained extrovert.
Yeah, no, genuinely.
Not that I'm a trained extrovert, I just am one. But do you know what I mean? I think that a lot of people would use that. That's a good way of describing it.
I know, genuinely, because I remember when I was like little, I was so shy. So like training myself to be like, I don't know, a confident person, I think it was like the biggest thing we have to like overcome. But so I uploaded a video where I vlogged, and I was like, oh, I hate vlogging, like it's so embarrassing, like getting my camera out in public, or like I was doing it at school as well. So I vlogged my first like week in life of boarding school, and then that literally blew up like over a week. I think maybe I went up to like 100k views, which was a crazy amount of views for YouTube back then. So then after that, like just like blew up, and I gained like 30,000 subscribers in a week, and I was just like over the moon, like literally from 0 to 30,000. It was crazy. Yeah.
So before that, tell us about the period before that. What were you posting before? Because you literally said one video blew up, but like I think a lot of people will want to know like if they are on YouTube or they're trying something that they're, you know, really trying to get to grow on, sometimes you don't, like, people don't post one video and then go viral overnight. So like, what was the bit before? Like,
bit before was basically just like seeing other people's content and copying it. Really, really bad. Like, as in like, because I would see like stuff like beauty hacks and I'd be like, oh, I'll just like copy that, you know like the type of beauty hack videos where like you'd be like, get your eyeliner and light it on fire so it can like smudge quicker or whatever, like that type of stuff. Really random and like from my point of view, I looked on YouTube and I was like, who's successful, who's getting the most amount of views, and it would always be like just beauty content again and again, and that was just like the little niche which I was trying to like hit. Got so little views. I mean, like maybe like maximum 100 views or something like that. Like, it's not like support, it was like gorgeous, but at the same time it just wasn't me. And then I was like, okay, fine, I was have to dabble into other things. So I did like like what are they called, kind of like skits. So I did like types of people doing sports or types of people in class, like really random.
Way did you actually?
I literally did like proper skits. So like I think I had to have like 16 characters or whatever like in one video. It was really, really rogue.
Do you still have these videos?
No, they're long gone. They're privated. Like they were on my channel for so long, and like I kept on getting people like who watch me now like commenting on it, and I was like, no, okay,
I was goodbye.
Like, so yeah, I dabbled into that. That didn't do well either, and I was like, oh my god, what is next? And I was like, okay, well, everyone's vlogging now, like this, and I was like, this is so embarrassing. But I just went for it, and then that's when I got the results, and it was I guess the one thing which you think wouldn't work worked, I guess. Yeah.
But I also do think that like a lot of us are too afraid to like try different things and like go, okay, I'm gonna try lots of things because we're too scared of failing. Like, and technically like skits were like didn't work out for you. Like, don't necessarily have to describe it as failure, but like didn't work out. And then it was like the third thing that you hit on that were like, okay, like we're viral now.
No, exactly. So I think honestly the one piece of advice I give to anyone is just like try out everything. Like just see what like gets the traction, I guess. And also obviously what you enjoy, because you don't want to make content you don't enjoy, right?
But you said you didn't enjoy vlogging, so have you learned to love it?
I've learned to love it. Yeah. So at first I was like, hate it, but then I was also like, this is kind of cute because it's like a video diary, and like I have 6 years worth of memories now. Like I don't even have to look back to my camera roll, because I'm like, oh, like I could go back in times like 2018, be like, oh, this is what I was like in school, this is me and my friends. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I think I learned to love it through the fact that it was just like literally making memories.
So tell us a little bit more about boarding school then. Like, was that a really different experience for you? Like, what are people saying? Because obviously you blew up because of that boarding school video. What were people saying about it that obviously made it stand out and be so different?
I think that like the video itself like was just such a niche. Like no one's ever done it before. First of all, because it's obviously a school's a school. It's meant to be like a really professional workplace. Like no one likes to get filmed, especially teachers. Well, I got actually taken up a lot of times like by teachers being like, take that down, like my voice is in it, or like stuff like that. And I was getting like millions of views at this point, and I was like, oh, you're gonna try and take it down. Like I was like, this, it was such like a mess. But so yeah, I guess it's like most schools would be like, don't do that. But my school was very much heavily based on like musical theatre, like media, photography, like so creative that they were like, this is low-key. I mean, it was good for like promotion for the school in general. So so I guess they were just like, I'll just keep up, see what it does.
Thank you to our marketing department, Kate Elisabeth.
No, genuinely, I'm like, where's my commission? I also think Harry Potter. It was just a Harry Potter thing, you know. Obviously, all the Americans like, oh my god, it's like Harry Potter, like so cool. And I guess I just like, I just played it in more of like a, like everyone always thinks like, oh, the boys' school's like wild child as well, I guess. So I think everyone's just like, oh my god, like, are you forced to be there? Like, did they take your phones away at night? Like, everyone's just got like all the assumptions.
Were you forced to be there, and did they take your phones away at night?
Wasn't forced to be there and didn't take your phones away at night. No. So debunked. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was just a whole different like niche, which was like I tapped into accidentally. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't like planned whatsoever, which I think is probably what did so well almost.
Because it's more natural.
Yeah, exactly. And me and my roommate had such like a good like chemistry, so like everyone was like, oh, I wish like I had a roommate with like her.
So were you at boarding school the whole way from like really young?
I went to private school from 11 and then was literally there until GCSEs, and I went to look at like new schools for sixth form because like that was kind of like what everyone does, and I didn't like wanted to do any of like the A-levels which are at my current school. So then I was like, okay, like I want to do like photography, I want to do media, and also I wasn't feeling stuck, but I felt really stuck and like in my ways like at my old school. So then I just searched up creative schools in England, and then like Hertford House came up, and it was like the first one. Me and my mum went to go look at it, had an interview, and then they were like, oh, you can come. I was like, amazing. Brilliant. And also obviously, as I said, introvert, trained extrovert. So it was like a big thing for me, like being away from home. Like I was like a day student before, so yeah, no, I think like that transition was like a big thing for me. I wanted to leave within the first 2 weeks. I hated it at first, like so badly. But then I was like, for my own, you know,
Do you have any tips about like homesickness? Because I also think when people first go to uni, they also get the same kind of feeling because they're away from home. It's like the first time that you're probably like away from your family. Like, how did you get past those 2 weeks to go, okay, I'm going to be okay?
I think it's just to see like the long-term like aspect of it almost.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I think, and also I think it really like it's a lot of character development as well. Like just putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I was like, I knew I was stuck in my ways. That's why I wanted to go to a new school.
Not many people would choose that though. That is quite a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so same with uni. I think uni is different because obviously you're in halls and stuff. Like I think that it's difficult because obviously you're living by yourself. Like I had a roommate, so I was just like always with her, like chatting to her, being like, oh my god, like this is so scary. But then when you're in uni, I guess just you have to leave your door open, don't you? Like on like the first like week, you just leave your door open. It's like if anyone walks past, just say hey or whatever. But no, I think just like remember that the first 2 weeks are the hardest, and then afterwards it'll be fine.
If this is the first time you're tuning into the Talk Twenties podcast, allow us to introduce you to our headline sponsors, Zopa Bank, home of the Smart Saver account. If you're a long-term fan of the podcast, you'll already know about Zopa's Smart Saver, which lets you save into personalized pots and boost your savings in exchange for a notice period to access your funds. The longest notice period is 95 days and offers the highest interest rates. To find out more about Zopa's Smart Saver, download the Zopa app. We need to tell you that you need to save a minimum of £1 and the interest is paid monthly and is subject to variation. On with the show.
Maybe people will know you for the boarding school video, but maybe a lot of people will know you from the Wave House.
Yes,
we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it. We've actually had G-Day who like set up the whole Wave House on the podcast before. So like go back to that episode if you want to listen to more about that. But what was your experience of going into the Wave House? Like why did you do it? Tell us a tea.
So basically me and my friends group were like, we saw how like successful the Hype House was doing, and we just, I don't know, it was.
And the Hype House was in America, right?
Yeah,
and
the Hype House in America, and also it was lockdown as well, wasn't it? Yeah, so it was lockdown. This Hype House in America were like doing so well, and we were like, okay, well there should be like a UK equivalent, and we were like, why don't we just do it ourselves? So then we pitched it to my friend's management, and they were like, yeah, like all in, like let's just do it. And then we waited, I think it was like September 2020 when we like basically rented out like this house, and we all like, you know, invested our time, and like I think maybe we had to be like incognito for like a month maybe before it, because like no one could know we were in the house. And then we did like mask reveals, and I don't know, my whole entire incentive was like just like to try something new, I guess. Also I was with my friends, and like my boyfriend at the time was also in there, so I was like, this is gonna be fun, like we're all in this together. So yeah, no, that's the Wave House, and yeah, Jide was the head of it, so it was cool. What
was the reality of like waking up and obviously you're making content like all the time? Like what was the reality? Because you when you finished like the first like, I don't know if you call it a season, but like the bit of time that you were in there, you decided to leave. So like what was the experience?
The experience itself, it was just crazy. It was just like go, go, go. I feel like I've never had like a structure to my social media career ever in my life. Like they were like, okay, so like Monday to Friday, 9 a.m, wake up. Like we have like a team meeting like for an hour in the mornings, like before breakfast. Like everyone like just brainstorming. And like obviously at the time, I think I was like 20. So I was like, oh my God, this is like quite intense. Like it's very like business orientated. And then, I think it was just like kind of just hectic all the time. Like we were having like bouncy castles being blown up in our backyard, like bloody like Mario Kart as well. Like it was just like really random stuff. I think it was quite like overwhelming because I was also the editor for all the videos, like all the TikTok videos.
Oh no way.
Yeah, so like at the end of the day, like I think it was one time we had like an assault course or something, and I think, you know, Willany, he was in it. Yeah. He like came to like do like a YouTube video. And like we had like a hot assault course like for the whole entire day, and it was raining, like pouring it down. And by the end of the day, they were like, well, we need to get the video out now. So like, and I was like shattered, like absolutely like on the floor. And like they were like, okay, so like get editing, like we have to post it for like the right time of the day and like stuff like that. Keep the hype, obviously, because I think we gained like 2 million followers in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Which is amazing, like unreal. But like obviously we had to keep up the momentum. So then they were like, oh yeah, sit down, like edit. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm literally on my knees.
I'd be like crying on my desk.
No, it was just like not, it probably could have been structured in a better way, because like we kind of should have like, you know, given the editing to everyone. But I feel like me being as like co-editor was just like exhausting, and also had no time for my own content.
I had no idea that you did all the editing. That must have been like huge. Was that for short form and long form, like YouTube?
Just short form, yeah. So like all the TikToks, like that was just me. But then like the long form, that was all like done like professionally.
Yeah. That is a lot. Like how do you feel? Because I guess being in a creative now, like creative kind of means everything. Like sometimes you're editing, sometimes you're most of the time you're in front of the camera. You're also probably having to know about so many different things. Like do you still do a lot of like what parts do you like outsource and what parts do you still do?
I don't outsource. I'm still myself. Okay. Yeah. So I'm the photographer, cinematographer, editor, you know, like everything, like even the model, you know?
Yeah.
So
that is crazy though. And I think that is becoming more and more of the case for most young people who are in the creative industry, that you literally have to be good at every single little piece of part of that. Like, you know, I used to edit all of this podcast, so you put it all on the platforms. Thankfully I've got Georgia now who does lots of that and helps me out, and loads of other people, but it's still like really tricky to be able to know how to do all the things. It's like 100 different skills that you're learning instead of just like one little thing.
Yeah, if I was smart, I'd outsource, but at the same time, like it's so precious to me. I feel like my own editing style is like the only thing that I want to put out, I think. And also I feel like training someone up to edit, like the way that you edit is so hard. It's a very long process. So when I have the time, I'll think about it. But for the time being, no, I enjoy my own editing.
Obviously, when you were in the Wave house, you mentioned that you had your boyfriend in there. I know that for one of the things that kind of has been difficult for you at times is having relationships that essentially are in the public eye. Like you have a lot of people who are like following you for your life. And that sometimes means that you have to kind of be, well, you have had to put like relationships out there and stuff like that. What have you kind of, I guess, learned from that situation?
I mean, it was an experience. I mean, we were together online, like publicly for like 3 years. So like I literally blew up on YouTube, and then I started like seeing him as soon as I started blowing up on YouTube. So
okay, so people put like you and like
and
Carmen
him
together.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I think that it was like actually like one of the best things to happen though as well, because like him and his French group like took me under their wing, and they like showed me like the ways, like I don't know, just like even like just do the industry. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Like didn't even know like you could earn money from YouTube, like whatsoever. Like it was all just like pure passion. So then they were like teaching me like all the little things which I needed to know. So so obviously met him, started going out with him for like 3 years, and that is in itself is like having a public relationship is a lot. Like it is a lot of like you're just sharing your whole entire relationship online, like ups and downs. I'm pretty sure like me and him went on a break, and like we literally posted a YouTube video being like talking about why we like had a break, and like we literally like just like debunked everything.
Wow, literally just so out
camera,
there. Yeah.
But then there comes with a lot of judgment, like everyone like takes sides, and they're like, oh, like, but what does she do? Or like, oh, I heard that he did this or she did that, and it's like a lot of like
obviously
drama.
Most people know nothing.
No, like literally, and there's so many rumors and stuff, which is like it's terrifying almost.
It doesn't help. Like even if you know it's not true, it doesn't help. You can't help it still gets to you. I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Like just even like people just DMing me trying to sabotage our relationship, like just like saying the most weirdest out of pocket stuff. I'm just like, why? Like what? For like what do you do this for? Like genuinely. But in general, like no regrets. Like I'd do it again. Like I have a current boyfriend, new boyfriend, and And
we actually met him at the YouTube event. For all you people who are trying to find out who he is, don't DM us because we won't tell you.
Yeah, tell him. He's super, super sweet, and he doesn't want to be online, so I'm keeping him offline. But like, so he's like in my videos, like his voices, but his actual face isn't in it, or like his like name or anything. Even though I get people still commenting stuff about like with this full government name in my comments, and I'm like, oh my god, like how do you even find him? Like it's actually crazy. People are like FBI agents. It's crazy. But so I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it again, but it's just a lot. You have to have thick skin. You really do, and like, be very, secure within yourself. Honestly,
we met at YouTube, and we spoke on that panel. We also had a little catch up in between.
Yeah,
and we talked a lot about like friendships in your 20s as well, and how they change like so much. I really feel like the saying that like your friends are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime is like the most perfect explanation.
The best explanation,
of friendships, because there are absolutely people are there in my life that are literally just there for a reason. They pop up and then they go.
Yeah,
there are people that are there,
and they
teach you a lesson and then they're not there
and it's
anymore.
like, oh, brilliant. What was that for then?
Yeah, for sure. And then the season thing, definitely there's people who I've been like maybe work friends that I've met, and I've been so close with them, but it was when I worked at a certain place.
Yeah.
And now that I've left that season of my life, it doesn't feel like they fit as much anymore. And then there are just people who are there for life, and you can just tell they're going to be your like mates forever.
Yeah.
What's been your experience of like friendship in your early 20s?
I think that now I'm 24, so I'm 4 years into the 20s. I feel like you just know now almost, like you're kind of like, okay, like I know we're gonna have a good time for like a little bit of a time, because I used to be like feral. I used to love, I used to go partying like 4 times a week, like clubbing like properly, and like, I used to be like best friends with some people who I don't speak to like whatsoever now, because I'm just like, they were just like kind of like drinking friends almost. So like I guess like it's one of those things, it's bittersweet. You shouldn't look back on it and be like, oh, that's sad because I like lost them like as a friend. It's kind of like, oh, you enjoyed the moment. It's like with exes almost, like, because when people say like, oh, oh, I broke up with him, like it was a waste of time. It's like, it's never a waste of time. You learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about like, I don't know, like who you want to date in the future and stuff. So
yeah, very wise. Such a wise way of looking on it, because I think a lot of people can feel really upset when like a friendship ends and stuff, and like actually I think if you look at it and go, I learned something, or actually if you look back and like, would I really want to be like hanging out with them again, like for the person I am, like I've changed a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if you're not going out partying and stuff, I'm guessing hanging out with those people may not be as fun anymore as you used to find it.
And then you see them like a couple of years later, you're like, oh my god, you are actually so much fun. Then it happens again, that you go into the same cycle, I don't know, you like hang out with them again, and you're like, oh, this is why we stopped hanging out. It's like, it don't make sense.
And I feel like a lot of people are all about like, you need to break up with a friend, and I disagree with that. I don't think that you have to break up with a friend. I feel like you can just, if you're not going to spend as much time with a friend, you can just reduce the amount of time that you said, just pull back, because I don't like being on bad terms with anyone, because I'm like, you never know, like later in life, like they could also not want to go out partying, and we can connect on the fact that like, I did that 2 years ago and now, you know, we're in the same place. And like, I just feel like you never know, they might come back into your life, you might, you know, work with them on future projects. I just think it's nice to keep them on nice terms.
Never have grudges either. Like I feel like so for me, my life motto is no grudges, no regrets, no nothing like that. Like because first of all, it's a waste of energy. Like genuinely,
agree,
like,
totally agree.
Whoever like has like a grudge against someone, I'm literally like, just forgive and forget. Like come on,
it's a lot of energy.
I'm very forgiving, like almost like too forgiving sometimes. But I think it's just like, just to release it, you know, just let it go. Like, honestly.
And not to like deep it too much. If you do just not chat to someone, or they kind of distance themselves from you, I'm just like, it kind of is
happens.
what it is.
People have lives as well, and like, you know, people get busy.
So true. When we searched in Kate Elisabeth on TikTok, the main question that came up was, who is Miles?
Oh, who is Miles?
Who is Miles? I don't know. George asked me to ask this question, so it's on my list. Who is Miles?
Okay, Miles is my friend. He's literally recently just blown up, actually. He's like the finance bro of TikTok. Okay. Yeah, so he posts like literally like days in life like a finance bro, and like just very like witty, punny type of TikToks. Like just like basically fully taking the piss out of being a finance bro, pretty much.
Oh, I've definitely seen one of his videos. Okay, that makes more sense now. But why would they be asking that in relation to you?
Because there used to be like little like things being like, oh, are they like dating? They see each other, and like we like have never dated or anything like that. It was never like that whatsoever. But like it was literally just people just making up the rumors.
It's so funny what the internet will throw up to you. I know. Like TikTok is absolutely crazy when it will literally give you like, especially when you post a video and it'll literally say at the top like what it thinks it is, and sometimes it's so random, like what it thinks it's gonna. I know, like the search bar, isn't it? Yeah, literally. The search bar.
Anyway,
well, at least you got to the bottom of who Miles is, everyone. I hope that was helpful for you all. Why then? Obviously, you're obviously in a relationship right now. Like, why do you think it's so important to like protect certain parts of like your life, even though you spend so much of it online?
Ooh, sanity, for your own sanity, genuinely, because I feel like as like a person who doesn't do social media, you probably have so much like you want to keep to yourself, like you don't even want to tell your friends almost. But, like that's almost out of your control in a sense. Like it's so difficult. Like even when I was like dating my boyfriend, like he would literally get told by his friends or like his like co-workers like, oh, if you heard this, or like she did this and she was going out with him, and like she's and, like just like telling him stuff that like I had to say like debunk to him, because he'd be like, oh, my friend told me this today, and I was like, oh my god, like first of all, most of it's just rumors and like crazy stuff like that.
Like
and
I think Miles.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like it's so like, oh, not exhausting, but like I feel like some people kind of don't think that social media influencers are people, like as like they just think you're just like an online persona and like that's it, like I'm in the metaverse, like I don't exist. But like when it comes,
she's here in the flesh, everyone. I can tell she's not a robot, she's not AI, augmented, whatever, like she's real. She's real.
So yeah, I think that that's like difficult, but I think that the only thing which I keep like very like personal like to myself is probably just family. I think I'm never like chat bad things about. I was about to say, can we swear on this? I don't know. You can. I was gonna say
it's 20 plus. Like 20 plus. So you know everyone knows what a swear word is at this point in your life. I hope.
I was just gonna say I would never chat shit about my family or like friends or anything like that. Like that's like keeps like very personal to me. But everything else, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about like my skin journey. Like I've got back knee. I've put it on the internet. You know. So everything else very open. But like I think friends and family, that's my thing, which is like keep close to me. Yeah.
I think the world is changing. Like, I don't know if you see it this way, but like a lot of young people are just like, you know, a lot of people have just TikTok accounts where they just chat shit about stuff that's going on in their lives. I think everyone is putting so much more like on the internet about their lives, just like the normal person. Like, you know, everyone is putting more stuff out there. Obviously you do that to like literally like that's your job basically to kind of do that. For other people, it might just be a little fun TikTok account that they've got. Do you think there's what is the positives to doing that, and what do you think are like the things that like are the downsides to being so open?
Ooh. Well, positives are, it's just fun, isn't it? Because I mean,
it is just fun.
Yeah, just to post a TikTok and like be like,
Yeah.
just get on with it. And also, especially, you know, when you like post your first TikTok and it goes like viral, you're like, oh my God, that's so fun. I also
think you
positive.
find your people sometimes. If you are really open about stuff that is like, oh, like I've got back knee, for example, you would find the other people on the internet who also have the same.
And then you get tips and tricks.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
It's just like, it's helpful. It's literally just life tips. So yeah, I think that's probably the positive. But the negative, I don't know, like, what's it called? Your internet, was it not the internet? What's it called? Your trace? Not what it was that called?
Like if MI5 wanted to like find out everything about you, they could.
Yeah, digital
footprint.
Yeah, your digital footprint. That's obviously negative. You start chatting like really bad things about yourself, then future employers could see it and all that. I mean, I already been new. I mean, I don't know who's out there, but I'm self-employed, so it doesn't matter what I post. But I think that's something negative, but it depends how much of an open person you are.
But I just think it's going in that direction anyway, that like employers are just like, because if you look back, I don't know, like maybe like when I first even like started my career, like as I started out as a teacher, right?
Okay.
It was advised for you not to have social media like at all. When I was like that sounds like decades ago. It really wasn't. It genuinely wasn't. But like it was advised for you not to have like social media accounts, whereas like now there's like influencers that are teachers in primary schools, like
which I understand, like how they get away with that,
which literally like, so obviously like all these employers in like traditional things are obviously like some employers are going to be more strict than others, but like I'd actually really like to know, like genuinely question out to our listeners, like what job are you in, if it's like what would be considered, I guess, like not a typical creative job, what job are you in, and do you create content on the side, and what does your employer think about it? Because I think everything is going in that direction, especially you see like teachers. I've seen lorry drivers do it. Like I know a girl that's a female lorry driver and she does it. Like there's so many more people that are creating little niches within, and they might not actually post stuff that's about their job. They might just do stuff TikTok outside. Anyway, I want to do some like research about that.
No, it's interesting.
I just think it is really interesting that we're all going in that direction.
I think that social media is way more normal now though, because obviously when I first started like 6 years ago, everyone was like, she's posting a YouTube video, what a freak. And now like it's literally like, oh, go on then, you post a YouTube video, like do it. But I used to be like shunned upon almost. Like my school friends used to be like, oh, I can't believe you're even trying to do this. And I was like, oh, okay,
I bet they're
where
not
am
like
I
that
now?
Where am I?
You know, so I think like now it's just like more normal, I guess. Like all my friends just post TikToks, like even like just trends and like just like for shits and gigs, I guess. Yeah,
for sure. So, well, we've left it till the good part in the podcast to talk about your business journey.
Nice.
Because you have started, as we mentioned earlier, you've started your own bikini business. What made you want to start a bikini business?
I travel a lot for my lifestyle and my content and all that, and very much like I try to really motivate people to solo travel, because I love solo traveling. Like myself, I found out so much about myself doing it, and I think like everyone should do it to literally find themselves. But so I feel like I'm very much like trying to get that message out, and I wear bikinis all the time, so I was like, why not like make my own? Like genuinely, it's just like comes kind of hand in hand, and like I'm just literally promoting it like constantly, organically. So it's my uniform, so I may as well just like make my own.
It's your uniform. Love that. That's so good.
And also sustainable, recycled materials, ethical, and it's just like, it's fun. It's like a cute little side hustle. Like I say, it's a cute side hustle. It takes up a lot of my time. A lot of my time. Like I did not realize how much like upkeep there was. Like admin, accounting, I didn't even know, like parcel and packaging, fulfillment. I don't even get me started. It's really good. It's like fulfilling. It's good.
So what's been your process from like, I guess from like starting and thinking I want to launch a bikini brand to today? Like tell us where because when did you start?
I started in 2021, and I got a manufacturer, had all the prints ready, was about to like send the deposit, and they just ghosted me. Like genuinely within like 2 weeks, they just ghosted me, and I was like sending emails being like, hey, how you guys doing? And
you never heard from them
back, and I was like, oh my god.
Do you think they shut down or something?
I think so, but they were like working with really big brands, so I didn't understand, unless they just like, nah, like can't be bothered to like work with this little kid, I don't know, something like that. But thankfully, I think maybe a year later, I think February 2022, I got a DM, which is so crazy and so random, because I've never got a DM like this my whole entire life, but it was actually from a swimwear company, like a manufacturer, being like, hey, I'm just wondering if you're thinking about like creating swimwear, because like we're based in London, we'd love to work with you.
Had you even posted about doing your previous stuff?
Never spoke about it ever. So I was like, I was like, it's a gift from God, like genuinely, it's so random. So then I obviously answered the DM being like, I've literally been thinking about this, like surely someone sent that, like genuinely, whoever like runs this, thank you. So then I got that DM and I was like, okay, let's do this, and it was literally like such a quick turnaround. I think maybe like we like worked on like one more fabric, because I already had the like, I don't know, trademark for the fabric, so I had 2 fabrics and I had just one more, so I was like working with them for like 3 months. So I think by the time it was like April, we like then sent it to manufacturing, got manufactured, and I think it was ready by the end of July, which was obviously late. You know, you learn from your mistakes. And it was like summertime, and I was like, okay, don't need to make an online store, let's just do a pop-up shop, because it's just the easiest thing to do. So rent out a pop-up shop in Oxford Street and like did it. I think it was the weekend of like I don't know, bank holiday in August. It was like early August. And basically train and tube strikes all weekend, like so bad. Genuinely, I think I had it from the Saturday to the Sunday. I sold like 50 bikinis. I was so devastated. Like I had thousands. Wow. It was like so upsetting. I mean, the whole thing itself was great. It was such like an experience, but I was disheveled. I was literally like, I don't know what to do now. Like my parents were just like, oh, that is peak. And then,
you didn't give up though.
I didn't give up. No. So then I put my back into it, and I made the online website by myself, because I was like, you know, I'm kind of stingy, to be honest. Like if I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't want to like pay anyone to like make my website, because I was like, I can do this. Like I got taught how to do it in A-level as well. So then I made my website. Took me like, I don't even know, 2 months. There's a lot to making a website. I didn't realize that either. And
then watching YouTube videos like,
literally, I was like coding at one point. I was like, no, this is getting too complicated. It's too much. And then I think I released the website October 4th, and then obviously, so it was online, and I'm in between that time as well. But so between August and October, I didn't want to send it out myself either. So I was like, can't have a post office in my house. I was like, I need to find a fulfillment center. So found a fulfillment center in Bristol, which is called Haboo. Big up Haboo. And they look after all my stuff. And from there, launched it on the website. And I mean, like, it was October, so it was obviously autumn, so it was like not a good time of year. I feel like it's a good, like, not coming of age story, but I literally sold, I don't know, like 5 bikinis that day, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's just not happening for me, like, genuinely. So then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, like, genuinely. I think over the next, like, couple of months, obviously it was winter. It's the UK, it's seasonal.
How many people are buying bikinis in like Christmas in the UK? Because not going to lie, we have about 3 days of summer.
Yeah, 3 days of sunshine, So I was like, oh my God, I need to think about like unconventional marketing. I was like, okay, no, guys, we can wear it on our ski holidays. We could, whenever you go to the Caribbean, like you can wear it then. Like I was just trying like every single thing. And basically I was just like not willing to give up, because I'm very stubborn as well. So I was like, okay, I'm going to release one more bikini. So the next summer I released literally one set, which was the Me Bikini, which is like a chrome, like a light pink chrome type of metallic vibe. And it was just very different to my other bikinis, because the other bikinis were very floral and like, you know, ditzy almost. And then I released that, and I was like, okay, it has to be like more cool. So then released that in May 2023, and then that just like popped off like completely. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. So I kind of just had like.
But tell us about the viral thing that you did in order to kind of make, because is that the reason why you think it popped off?
No, that was actually 6 months after. Okay. So actually like, so that actually like the launch itself like did really well, and it like popped off.
Okay.
And then
what did really well? Because I feel like in terms of like numbers and stuff like that, like a ballpark, like how many did you like end up selling when you did really well? Like
so basically it's I don't know how to. I'm trying to think about numbers. I have so many analytics in my head. But when I sold it, I think it was like, I don't know, I got hundreds of orders, which was amazing. I was like, obviously compared to my first launch,
literally,
I was
like,
I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening, like finally.
Wow,
and then, and also it was consistent as well. Like throughout like the summer, like I'd post a TikTok and everyone would be like, oh, that's a cool bikini. I'd be like, yeah, you can wear it to festivals as well. Like it's kind of like versatile in a sense.
So also they were coming in not just in like one day, they were also just, it was like continuous as well.
Yeah, it was like, it was dripping, you know, which was just good.
So good.
Is that the right word?
Dripping? Don't know. We'll go with dripping.
And then I think obviously it gets the end of summer. I'm like, okay, we'll still have a couple more bikinis to sell.
Yeah.
So then me and my friends were like, okay, we're going to get on to ski season early, like super, super early. So we went the first week of like snow, like when the ski lifts were open. And then I literally was like, I need to get on the slopes in my bikini, like just like to film me skiing down it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, just hype myself up. It was like a bluebird sky day, like gorgeous, like sun was shining. And I was like to my friends, I was like, right, I'm gonna put my ski boots on, I'm gonna ski down this mountain, like take a video from every single angle you can, slow-mo, pictures, like DSLR was out, like everything.
Yeah.
And we got the shot. And yeah, it just went viral. Literally got 35 million views. Like Kris Jenner liked it, Kourtney Kardashian's like brand liked it, like reposted it and everything. So yeah, I got so much hate as well.
Kourtney Kardashian reposted it.
Yeah, yes, no, not Kourtney Kardashian, her brand.
Her
so,
brand.
Yeah. So Poosh.
Poosh.
Yeah,
oh my
Poosh.
God.
Yeah. They DM'd me and I was like, they were like kind of trying to be reposted. I was like, yes, go for it. I was like, do it. And then, but that also came with a lot of hate though as well. Like so much hate. Yeah. To be fair, I didn't see it because my
filter saying
my filters like is obviously just my friends, so it was like everyone be like, slay, like you look amazing, this, that, the other. And then when I go on someone else's account and view that video, it's literally like hate from Denmark, hate from Germany, like she's fatherless. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even do anything that crazy. I was like, well, I personally don't think anyway. It was just me in a bikini and a little
you really
coat.
didn't.
But so I mean, you win some, you lose some, but it was brand awareness in the day, wasn't it? So it worked.
Amazing. I love those like little like marketing stunts.
If you want to know what we're drinking here in the Talk 20 studio, then let me tell you, because you're going to want to try it. Riviera Iced Tea is the newest sponsor of the Talk 20s podcast. It's low calorie, natural, vegan, and gluten-free. I'm absolutely obsessed with iced tea. I've just been laughing here about how obsessed I am with iced tea with our producer. It's my favorite drink in the whole wide world, no exaggeration. And the peach iced tea from Riviera is genuinely the best I've ever tasted. So if you want to fill your fridge with something super refreshing, head to rivieraicedtea.com or check out their Instagram at Riviera Iced Tea.
We love chatting about our biggest adulting failures on the podcast because I feel like it normalizes people. Like I know you're a really open person anyway, but I do think the times that we talk about the things that we wish we like hadn't done, I know looking back we think, oh, like that's fine. Like I had to go through it to do it. No regrets and all that kind of stuff. But there is obviously some times that you probably think, oh, I wish little me didn't have to go through that. What kind of springs to mind when we talk about adulthood failures?
I think just probably trying to make a business without having any business degree, like whatsoever. Like genuinely, it's me and my mum. Like that's the only people who are like involved in the whole entire thing. Yeah. So I think like me and her like bouncing, kind of like knocked heads because we were like, obviously she's, I don't know, 50, mid-50s. So it's very different to like me being Gen Z. And she's like, no, you shouldn't sell that. Or like you shouldn't do that font. I'm just like, Mum, like you're not Gen Z. Like it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like I was like bashing heads. I think that was like, it's difficult, but like it's kind of like eye-opening almost. Yeah. I don't know if it's like an adulting fail. I think it's just like being naive to starting a business. Like there's so much to it and so much more time. Like I think that like if I was to give anyone any advice, like if you're going to make a small business, think about how long it's going to take, double it, then double it again. Like it takes so long. It really does.
It does take so long to grow. Like it's especially when you don't have like big companies that get all this like funding from the get-go and they have different people to do like, oh, I'll just like send one email a day. Like they have a job for literally everything. Yeah, exactly. Fine. But like when you're literally starting yourself, that is all of those things condensed together feels like so much.
It's like a lot. Yeah. There's like so much more you have to like think about than I realized. So yeah, I think that's
well, it's amazing because you've been asked to speak at like YouTube about your business and stuff like that. That's what we saw you on the panel talking about. So like it's doing amazing now. And like I think that alongside your content creation as well, like amazing.
Yeah, no, and it's a good little like, I don't know, foundation to my own personality almost, because I think that also like I think loads of people just think that like content creation is still not like a real job. Everyone's like, oh, they're just dossing about and just posting videos themselves, and it's like, no, like I do put a lot of effort into this, you know. Yeah. So like that having as a foundation, I think like, you know, the boomers, they'll look at me and be like, yeah, she's solid, like she's got a business, you know.
So you just did it for the boomers.
Yeah, I did it for them.
The other thing we love talking about is that like a lot of people look up to people like you, and like you said, like people sometimes like don't think you're real, or the way that they comment and stuff, like they kind of think you're this person that lives on the internet and like you're not like human sometimes. But like absolutely everyone that we meet on the Talk 20s podcast has something that's going on in their lives that isn't quite going right at this moment in time, and we also like normalizing the things that like we wish that we could get better at as individuals. For you, is there something that you're trying to get better at this moment in time? Like it could be public speaking, it could be business, it could be relationships. Like, what is it that you're trying to get better at?
Mine's time management, because I am so like go instant. Like I want like this now done. Like I want to do everything like as soon as I can. And like I'm very much like, I don't know, I'm very self-sufficient as well. Like I don't want anyone else to help me. Obviously I said before, like I edit my own videos. I'm very like self-sufficient. So like I think that time management and pacing myself without burning myself out, such a hard job, because like I literally just burn myself out. Like probably like maybe like once a week. I think I wake up one day, I'm literally like, my body's like, nah, sit down. Like you're not doing things today.
But listen to me, you're doing like 2 jobs. You're doing all of your content creation, all of your editing, like all of your replying to comments, I'm sure. Like that takes for like ages. Yeah. And then you're doing all of the stuff for your business as well. Yeah. Okay, minus like actually posting out, but like you are doing a lot.
Yeah, no, I am doing a lot. And I do feel I pat myself on the back for it. But at the same time, like, my body just fails sometimes. So I think just learning how to like really like scatter about.
But I do think that, because obviously we're in content creation as well, but do you think because people don't see content creation as a real job, and actually there's parts of your job that you're like, oh my God, that is amazing. Like getting to speak at YouTube or go down to YouTube, or like I think you've been to Charlotte Tilbury event recently. Like that seems like fun, and what most people would seem as fun. Yeah. So you put it in the category of like, oh, that's fun, but actually like that is your job at the end of the day, and there's still so much to do. But I think that sometimes people in the creative industry overcompensate. Yeah. So they will be like, oh, they'll work 10 times harder because what they deem as like fun is actually still a job, but they don't add that into the timing.
100%. Like genuinely, I can't agree with that more. Like it's so hard. It is actually overcompensating. Like I feel like sometimes I speak to my friends who have like normal jobs. Sorry, I hate to say normal jobs, but like the traditional job. Yeah. Like I'll be
non-creative,
I don't know. Like I'll try and like almost like fight for my life, being like, no, but I did this and like I did that. Or like, but then whenever I go to these events, they're like, oh, you're just like, having a piss up, or you're just having a couple of drinks with your friends. It's like, no, babe, I'm networking. I'm literally like working. So I think that it is a lot of overcompensating.
Yeah. Because it sounds like you still do absolutely loads, but some people might not view it as loads because they're like, they think social media isn't a job, and it 100% is. Wake up to it, because Gen Z are coming for you with their creative jobs.
No, trust me.
So what do you feel like is in the future for you then? Like what are you planning in the foreseeable?
In the foreseeable. See, I think it's such like a sporadic career, isn't it? Like literally I'll get given like a brand deal or like, I don't know, a trip. Like we'll literally go in like 2 weeks. So I literally don't know what I'm doing within the next month, to be honest. Wow. But my big things coming up is obviously launching new collection of bikinis, which is coming out this year. Oh, I mean, I hope this rate. Bloody hell. It's just there's so much like issues in manufacturing at the moment. But
there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
What can you give us an exclusive on, like what kind of things you might be thinking about bringing out? You don't have to give away everything, but like,
I mean, it's the same genre as the last collection, but we're basically spicing things up with the whole branding. Actually, we'll change it up like fully. Nice. So that's gonna be fun. So a little like trying to like make it more not separate to me, but like more of like my entity, like not just mine, So so that's gonna be fun. So that's coming out this summer. Other than that, I just want to travel too far as well. Like I think I did Australia for 6 weeks at the beginning of this year. Burned me out. I was like, it was a long time. It was literally like hostel life as well. So like I think I came back from that and I was like deflated and so tired. But now I've got my travel bug back. So I want to go away. Japan, Vietnam, South America, wherever.
Yeah, we always end the podcast by asking the same question to all of our guests, and it's if you could look back at 20-year-old Kate and give her just one piece of advice that would see her through her 20s, what would you want to say to her? Like she's here in like 20-year-old form. What would you want to look her in the eye and say?
It ain't that deep. That's literally it. I think we like always like over dramatize stuff when we're younger.
100%.
It just ain't that deep, and the grand scheme of things, like honestly, that's what I tell her.
I always think like, if what's that saying? If it, I sound like an inspirational quote now. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes crying over it.
Exactly.
That's a true.
That is the one. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. I've absolutely loved chatting to you, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of us in the Talk 20 studio. Thanks for listening, guys.